Hi guys, Sonia here. So today I'd like to share a thought with you, and it goes sometimes you have to be the enemy in order to be heard. And most of you are like, where is she going with this? What is she talking about? But I'll go deeper into what I mean by what I said. And recently, I've gone through a bad kind of a bad situation that triggered this thought. And I'm not going to go in details of what the experience was, but I'm going to be sharing the result of that experience. And many of us have gone through bad situations, whether it be a toxic relationship, toxic work environment, dysfunctionality in your family, conversations with a disrespectful person, the list goes on. We have all been there at some point or another. And in those cases, if you're like me, you'd always want to keep the peace. You want to be on the good side. You know what I mean? You can't stand being the enemy because it just does not feel good to be the enemy. You want to be liked, you want to be approved of, right? Nobody wants to be an enemy in anything at all. And I struggled with that personally for a long time. And where it doesn't matter how I've been treated, I just did not want to be an enemy. And so everything that I would like to express, whether it be my opinions or views or interpretations on certain things, or simply to have my emotions heard, I would just hold it in. And it's the same thing for most people. Most people are experiencing the same thing because we cannot stand being not liked or approved of, or simply to be an enemy. And I struggled with that thing for such a long time, because I would try to hold it in because I was afraid that things would escalate and people would be like, I don't really like you anymore. I don't approve of you anymore. You're now my enemy. That thought kind of scared me a bit. And it took such a long time for me to get over the fact that at some point or another, you're going to be somebody's enemy because you stand up for what is right. If someone is being taken advantage of, or if that person is even you have a voice and you should use it. You should talk about what is happening, what you're experiencing, what is affecting you or somebody else. It doesn't matter who, you have to speak out against it. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I'm like, I really don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you don't like me or not. After I'm done expressing what I'm expressing, I'm not going to do it in a rude manner. I'm not going to be disrespectful, or I'm not going to try to be disrespectful. But if it comes across that way, it's something that it wasn't my intention. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes we have to stand up and we have to say, this is wrong, this is not right, this is affecting me, this is affecting somebody else. And this was what happened in this particular situation, and I ended up on being on the side that I didn't want to be for years. Like, I don't want to be an enemy, and then here I am on the enemy side, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. I'm very much okay with that because I've expressed how I felt and I've spoke about what had happened or what was happening at that time. And what I realized is that when you start to talk about the things that is affecting you, people are not going to like it, but they're not going to like what you're saying because you're speaking out against them. And that's what I mean. That's why everything just fits right into that little sentence. Sometimes you have to be an enemy to be heard. It's just the perfect scenario. And oh, if you're going through a similar situation and you're like, how do I get over this? How do I fix this thing? Because I don't want to be an enemy to anybody. And the truth is, we have to learn. What my advice is to you and to myself is that we must learn and we must grow up. We must grow up and we must develop thick skin in order to survive this life. Because in this life, people are not going to be for you, and they're going to use you, they're going to abuse you, they're going to be manipulative towards you. And instead of you just sitting down and taking every single thing that is thrown towards you, you must stand up for what is right. And I'm going to end this by saying that it took great work. It took self-reflection. It took self-love. It took self-love to get to the point where you're like, I deserve better than this. I am more than this. And if you're not going to treat me like I deserve to be treated, then I'm going to walk away from this. And if it means at the end of the day, if it means that I'm going to be your enemy, if you're not going to approve of me, if you're not going to like me at the end of the day, all I can say is that it's okay and move on. That's it.